Alrighty then. So you're on your back, and just take a moment to observe your breathing. Nice, nice full breath. And you can notice as you're observing your breath, you can also observe how your head rests on the floor. Your shoulder blades. Your ribs. And that area that you mentioned sort of catches your attention in between the shoulder blades. Notice what part of your spine is the first area to leave the floor and arch away before it comes back to touch the floor down lower towards your pelvis. In your mind's eye, you can measure that gap between your back and the floor. And then you can notice the weight of your pelvis, your legs resting on the floor, the right leg and the left leg, and the right heel, and the left heel. And then could you bend up your knees and stand your feet a comfortable distance apart, and take a moment to notice how your back changed its relationship to the floor. And then could you interlace your fingers, bring your hands behind your head, and help your head lift away from the floor so that you could look in the direction of between the knees. You can bring the elbows to point forward towards the knees, yeah, and come back, and do that a few times as you exhale, and not powerfully, just softly, and feel how the leverage that you gain, the leverage that you have, and how your spine and where your spine comes closer to the floor as you soften the chest and lift the head. And then the next time you lift your head, you could press with your feet and turn your pelvis under so that your pubic bone tips towards your nose, and feel even more of your back coming into contact with the floor. Does it help to lift the head if you use the pelvis and the feet? That's excellent. Bring your legs down and bring your arms down and take a rest, and feel if your back touches differently on your mat. Or if your breathing has changed. And then come over onto your belly. And have your legs comfortably placed a little bit apart and your forehead down. And your hands, this will be a place to explore a little bit. Your palms will be on the floor and your elbows in the air. Your forehead will be down. And so that's a place where the elbows stand by themselves. It's the perfect leverage point. The elbows kind of stand by themselves. Yeah, You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do anything. It's just the structure. And notice how the shoulders are closer to the floor. And just pull them a little away from the floor as you direct your elbows backwards and downwards towards the floor a bit. And come back. And let your head lift. Allow your head to lift and allow your face to look forward, like you wanted to see. You wanted to see, and then come back down. And do that a number of times. And again, not powerfully, just lift the head, lift the back, feel the shoulders engaging. Soften the back. Think of softening the back as you lift the back. And now leave your head down and simply take your eyes up and down, up towards your eyebrows and down towards your chest, your eyeballs. Roll them up and roll them down, and roll them up and roll them down. The eyes can be closed. Roll the eyeballs up and roll the eyeballs down. Roll the eyeballs up and down. And now do it very quickly. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Maybe even faster than that. And then rest the eyes and lift the head again to look forward. See with the eyes. And come down. And one more time, lift the head, lift the chest, lift the back, and look forward. And come down and come and rest on your back. And sense what might feel different about how your back is laying on the floor. Stand your feet again, a comfortable distance apart, and again interlace your fingers and bring them behind the head. And now, just once, lift the head and bring the elbows forward and direct your right elbow towards your left knee. Direct your right elbow towards your left knee, and then come back down. And then do it to the other side. Direct your left elbow to your right knee. And then stay in that position with your hands behind your head, your elbows pointed forward. And now just imagine bringing your right elbow towards your left knee. Do you remember what you did? How your chest turned and how it folded? How you were breathing? And how the left side of your lower ribs came into the floor. And recreate that in your mind a few times. Just the right elbow to the left knee. And then do the same with the left elbow to the right knee in your mind only, in your mind only. How do you breathe? What do you do with your chest and your rib cage? How does the right side of your lower ribs come closer and into the floor? And what do you do with your pelvis? Just imagine that several times. And then actually do it once on one side and once on the other and see how close you were. How close were you in your imagining? How closely did your imagining match your reality? And of course, it's probably a little different now than it was the first time. So take a rest. Look around for any changes. And then come again onto your stomach. And bring your hands in that place where the elbows they stand by themselves. And lift your head and your eyes and look forward. Lift your head, your eyes, your torso, your back, and look forward. Ah, do you see a little higher? Yeah, great. Come back down. And now I'll describe it before you do it so you can imagine it and set yourself up for it. So you're going to lift your head and look forward just like you did and stay there a few moments and take your eyes only up and down, up and down. So whenever you're ready, you lift up and hold the position and take the eyes up and down and up and down and up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down, up and down, and rest your head down. Bring your arms down to wherever you like and turn your face to one side. Notice where you rest on the side of your face. What part of the face makes contact? And find that place again with your hands and your elbows. The elbows stand themselves. And begin to lift. Okay, think it first. Think that you're going to lift your head, turned as it is to the left, and look over your left shoulder. And what do you imagine you might see? And when you have a clear picture, you can lift the head, keeping it turned, look with the eyes to the left over your left shoulder, and come back down. And do that a few more times. You can take all the time you need. Is there something there behind your shoulder, just behind your left shoulder, that you might see? And you're breathing, and you're not using power. You use strength, but not power. Yes, that was nice. Pause a moment. Bring your arms to wherever they might be comfortable, but keep them somewhere around your head. Maybe the elbows on the floor, yeah. And roll your pelvis to the right towards that plant in the corner. And yeah, feel the left side of the hip comes away from the floor, and then you come back down. And it creates a lightness. It creates a gap between the front of your left hip joint and the floor. So that the next time you roll your pelvis, the left knee could bend a bit out to the side. And it's a natural occurrence. It's the pelvis rolls to the right, and it keeps rolling until you feel the left knee start to drag along the floor out to the side. If you have a very sticky mat and it's hindering that, you might want to move a little bit so the knee can slide on the carpet. Yeah. So just like a baby might for the first time be discovering, yes, there we go, nice and smooth. And do that a number of times and notice what happens with your elbows when you do this. And look with your eyes in the general direction of your knee. As though you might not be able to see it, but there's something moving down there and your eyes are turning to see it. Good. Stand your hands again in that place where the elbows stand themselves. And lift your back again and look over your left shoulder again. And come back down. And now lift your shoulder and look over your left shoulder and allow your pelvis to roll and allow your left knee to draw in front of you. And come back and go everything back down together. And so now your eyes are going to seek your left knee over your left shoulder. Your eyes are going to seek your left knee over your left shoulder. Yes, and there's a little secret here. Pay attention to the elbows. And there is a moment where the left elbow can lean against your rib cage and something very different will happen. It will lean against the rib cage as you lift. And you'll still be looking over the shoulder though, so it's different for the back. So maybe you roll a little further with the pelvis. Allow the arm. Okay. So yeah, no, that it's now look over your shoulder. Forget what I said about the elbow. Just look over the shoulder. And come back. And now bring your left elbow right next to your ribs. There. Now look over your shoulder and lift your head. Ah, different? And now do that and allow the left knee to draw out to the side. And you're looking for your knee now. You're looking over the shoulder for the knee. It's and you might not see the knee.
Okay.
But don't try to see the knee.
Okay.
Look over the shoulder and you might not see the knee.
Okay.
You might see it on the other side. You won't see it on this side. But you know where the knee is. You're looking over the shoulder. Yeah. Because this is turning the back. This is targeting. Here we are targeting your mid back. So pay attention to that area of your back and do the movement again. And let the eyes organize. Let the eyes organize. And then leave it and come rest on your back. Interlace your fingers again, bring your hands behind your head and stand your feet. And bring your right elbow towards your left knee a couple of times. And feel if you do it any differently. Think that you want to touch your right elbow to your left knee. Of course, it won't go there, but that's the direction. Feel how the left lower ribs flatten into the floor. And then do the same with your your left elbow and your right knee towards your right knee. And feel how you smush those lower ribs into the floor. Exhale and soften the chest. And have no goal in how close you get to the knee. Pause. Now I'll describe what you're going to do next so you can get a picture of it. So your hands will be interlaced behind your head, and you'll have your head lifted and you'll have your face looking forward towards your knees, and you'll stay there. And then bring your left knee towards your right elbow. And then put the foot back down on the floor, and then bring your right knee towards your left elbow. So we're coming at it from the other end of the movement. So you're going to lift your head whenever you're ready in a place that's comfortable and easy, and then bring your left knee towards your right elbow. And then place it down and bring your right knee towards your left elbow. Do that a number of times. How you breathe, how you roll the pelvis, how you turn the ribs into the floor. How you might help with the foot that's on the floor. Could definitely do that. Stand on the foot. Good. And then leave it and take a rest. And come on to the stomach again. And have your face turned to the right with your left ear down, your left cheek down. And stand your hands so your elbows stand themselves. And a number of times lift your head and look with your eyes over your shoulder, as though you wanted to catch a glimpse of your left heel. Now allow the body to roll. Allow the body to roll to the left so that your right knee is freed up and it begins to draw out to the side. Yeah, scoot over so you're on a slippery rug. And the right knee starts to draw towards the belly. And you're looking over the shoulder. And your eyes are seeking the knee, even though they might not see it. Ah, yes, you feel your elbows did something different there.
Mm.
And make a strong connection between the eyes and the knee. Yeah. And then the rest of the back will organize itself. Now let's help things out a little bit. Let's rest for a moment. You can bring your arms down. Bring your hands again to standing and your elbows effortlessly in the air. And lift your left leg a number of times. Does not have to be high. Just easily lift your left leg so that the knee comes away from the floor, the leg stays straight. Feel what part of you presses into the floor. Now, in your mind, as you continue to lift your left leg a few more times, imagine that you are lifting your head and turning to see your left heel over your shoulders. Just imagine it. Pause. Stand your hands. And now we're going to tie all those movements together as one. So you will lift your left leg. First, let's just lift the left leg and lift the head and look with the eyes over the right shoulder. Over the right shoulder. As though you wanted to see your heel. And now the next time, allow things to organize so that as you lift the head, you draw the knee out to the side and you look over your shoulder for your knee, but you're also lifting your left leg. Yes. And it doesn't matter if you see it or not. It's a direction that the eyes will organize the back according to what it's capable of right now. And your goal is to find pleasure. Like, what is that moving, that body part of myself? If you were a little baby. Oops. And now do it without lifting the left leg. That was different. Good. Rest on your back. And come onto your stomach again and turn your face to the left with your right cheek down. And your elbows in the air.
This way, right?
Yeah, yeah, towards me. Yeah, your right cheek down. Hands in the air. Sorry, elbows stand. Yeah. And now just several times in your own timing, lift your right leg and feel what presses into the floor. Feel if the elbows change their disposition. And think that you're looking with your eyes, and you could shine, the eyes could shine a beam of light. In your mind's eye, you lift the head and turn, and your left eye can shine a beam of light right at your right heel. And now actually lift your head and let your left eye seek the right heel. Might not see it, but there's a connection. There's a neurological connection that we're making. That's excellent. So now roll your pelvis and draw your left knee out to the side. Find that easy slide. Now you could look under the gap through the window of your elbow and arm. You could look right under there. You could even keep the elbow where it was, but sort of catch a glimpse of your knee through that little gap there. And now lift the head and look towards your right heel. Ah, yes, good. And come down. And now lift the head and lift the right leg and let the pelvis roll so that your left leg draws out to the side all together. Good. And everything comes down. And make it simpler, make it smoother. Keep the breathing soft and easy. Allow the knee to come all the way towards your belly, towards your chest. Lovely. Could be a sculpture. Let the knee draw. Yeah, knee stays on the floor. There you go. And then just the knee. Just the knee, and the face lifts, and you look over the shoulder to maybe catch a glimpse of your knee, which is not near as far behind you as your right heel. It's actually in front of you, but you're looking at it over your left shoulder. Good. And then come rest on your back. Did we do both sides? Yeah. Okay, so just to wrap things up here for a grand finale, come onto your belly again. Find the place where your elbows stand themselves. Lift your head and your eyes and your back and your shoulders and look forward and see what you see. My God. Wonderful. Okay, now this is like a little game. Lift your head, doesn't have to be high, and begin to turn it to the right and turn it to the left, and take your eyes to the right with the face and the eyes to the left with the face, and allow the body to start to rock with the movement of the head. Allow the pelvis to rock. And rest your head a moment. And now rock your pelvis and draw one knee out to the side, and then send the leg down and roll the pelvis and let the other knee come out to the side. One after the other. So you're rolling over the belly and you're rolling over the chest, rolling over the belly and the chest. Now lift your head and let your head turn as you do the same movement. Lift the back, lift the head. And now here's the funny thing. You're alternating, drawing the knees up, one frog leg, then the other. You're turning the head, but take your eyes opposite. So as you roll over the belly and the head turns to the right, take your eyes to the floor on the left. And then you turn and you take your eyes opposite your head. And you just make a game out of it. The head doesn't have to be lifted high. You find a way to organize it so it's comfortable, it's fun. You find a smooth kind of rhythm, something that makes sense. Eyes go opposite, 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 and then come rest on your back. And come one more time onto your belly. The hands standing and the elbows in the air, the face forward, and then lift the head and lift the back and see what you see. See what you see. Good. And you can lift again and enjoy the journey. Doesn't matter how high. Is it more comfortable? Is it smoother? Is it simpler? Now imagine one thing. Keep your face down and imagine that you round your belly into the floor and both legs lift high away from the floor. Just imagine it. And imagine doing that several times. You would protrude the lower abdomen into the floor and arch the lower back and lift both legs straight, separated, high up into the air. You have a rubber back. And then in your mind, the next time you lift your legs high into the air, imagine lifting your head high into the air and looking forward. And now, in reality, simply lift your head and look forward. Good. And come onto your back. Feel what has changed since the beginning. Now to let the back lengthen after all that shortening. Stand your feet, interlace your fingers, bring your hands behind your head, and direct both of your elbows towards both of your knees and lift your head and look forward a few times. Not powerfully, softly, but imagine each one of the vertebrae lifting, bunk, 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 and then the other vertebrae pressing down into the floor. Feel how the lower ribs press into the floor. Exhale and soften the chest. And now bring both of your knees over your chest and hold them from below the knees, the left knee with the left hand and the right knee with the right hand. So below, yeah, on the top of the shin. And now push the knees forward as you hold below them with each hand. Push the knees forward as though you wanted to place your heels on the floor and lift your head and let that leverage. Yeah, think push your heels, your legs away from you and do that a number of times. When you come back, let the knees separate wide like a little baby in Pampers. And then push the knees away from you. That drags the arms and shoulders away. You look forward and you think of placing your feet on the floor. And come back. So you get a nice lengthening all through the spine. Press the knees forward, lift the face, look forward. Think of the heels on the floor. Feel where the lumbar spine is now pressing into the floor. Very nice. And then rest. And we'll call that a lesson. You can bring yourself up to standing. Just take all the time you need. Sense yourself in standing. You can move about and look about and just stay with your spine. Stay with your sense of yourself and what might be coming through, what new patterns might be emerging for you.